Hey guys, in this video we'll test the gaming performance of the Galaxy S23 FE. This is the Exynos 2200 variant. If you haven't seen my benchmark video of this phone, you can check it out from the link in the description or in the top right corner of this video. This is a follow-up video to that video. Here we'll test 6 games on this phone. We'll play each game for around 20 minutes and then take a 5-minute break before moving on to the next game. So in total, we'll do upwards of 2 hours of gaming on this phone. Before we start, I wanna let you guys know that I've turned on the alternate game performance mode in Game Booster, set all games to max FPS mode in game plugins, and I've enabled PUBG and GPU watch to monitor the frame rate, internal temperature, and other parameters. So without any further ado, let's get started. We'll start with a light game. This is Subway Surfers. The starting battery is 100% and internal temperature is 33 degrees Celsius. The game is running at around 120 FPS, which is buttery smooth. Let's fast forward the game. Alright, we are nearing the 20-minute mark. The temps are at 37 degrees Celsius and the battery is down to 94%. Moving to the next game, Skyforce Reloaded. This is a slightly more demanding game with a lot happening on screen. The starting temperature is 32 degrees Celsius and the game is running at around 120 FPS. Fast forwarding to the end. Now, the temperature has reached 40 degrees Celsius and the battery is down to 87%. Next is PUBG, which is also known as BGMI in India. This game currently only allows 60 FPS in smooth settings. I have set anti-aliasing to 2x for smoother edges. The starting temperature is 34 degrees Celsius. Let's fast forward. Okay, the game crashed. Let's quickly resume it. Some games tend to crash sometimes when GPU watch is enabled. In normal gaming sessions, I have never encountered any crashes so far. Let's fast forward. We have crossed the 20-minute mark, but this match will end in a few minutes, so let's complete it. Alright, this game lasted around 30 minutes, the temps have reached 40 degrees Celsius and the battery is down to 76%. Next is Call of Duty. Here 60 FPS is available in the high settings preset. Along with it, we have enabled anti-aliasing, ragdoll physics and super resolution. The starting temperature is 33 degrees Celsius. Now let's fast forward. Okay, so we have played 4 rounds, we won 2 and lost 2. More importantly, the temperature has reached 40 degrees Celsius and the battery is down to 69%. Next is Asphalt 9. Here I'll be playing in high quality mode and 60 FPS. The starting temperature is 34 degrees Celsius. Let's start playing. Alright, 10 races later, the internal temperature has reached 42 degrees Celsius and the battery is down to 60%. Finally, the last and the most demanding game is Genshin Impact. Here I am using the high preset with 60 FPS and no motion blur. There was no point going for the highest preset as every chip other than Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 struggles in that mode. In fact, even the high preset is a bit too much for this chip. Let's start playing. Okay, the internal temperature has reached 45 degrees Celsius. Let's end here. The battery has reached 47%. Even though the internal temperature reached 45 degrees Celsius, I didn't find it too hot as the external temperature was just around 40 to 41 degrees Celsius. Now that the game testing is done, let's see the results. Starting with Subway Surfers, the frame rate was very stable and it was around 110 to 120 FPS pretty much the whole time. The slight dip that you can see is just because I accidentally played an ad when I ran out of surfboards. Next is Skyforce Reloaded. Even here, the frame rate was very stable. It occasionally dipped to around 90 FPS when there was too much going on screen, but the gameplay was very smooth throughout. Next is PUBG or BGMI. This one is before the crash and this one is after relaunching the game. Overall, the frame rate was almost always above 55 FPS with some occasional dips, but the overall gameplay was very smooth and responsive. I didn't encounter any stutters or lags. Next is Call of Duty. Even here, the gameplay was very smooth and I only encountered a little bit of choppiness on my character's death and respawn, which is pretty normal. Coming to Asphalt 9, this game ran around 60 FPS for the most part. I only encountered some stuttering in the initial 1 or 2 minutes of gameplay. After that, the frame rate was a lot more stable and always above 50 FPS. Lastly, with Genshin Impact, the frame rate ranged between 50 to 60 FPS in the indoor areas. However, out in the open world, the frame rate dropped to around 45 FPS and even below 40 FPS towards the end of the game when the temperature had reached 45 degrees Celsius. Even then, I found the gameplay to be smooth and didn't encounter any stuttering or lag. Coming to battery, after nearly 2.5 hours of gaming, close to 50% battery was still left. That's pretty good in my books, especially considering how demanding some of these games were. In the last few days, I've tested this phone's battery in different scenarios. First is this mixed use test, which had a little bit of everything. Here, the focus was on standby battery drain. So the phone was on standby for around 26 hours. Even then, the phone managed to give a screen on time of 5.5 hours. One thing to note is that the phone was connected to Wi-Fi throughout the day. So if the phone is instead connected to 4G or 5G, the standby time will be at least 10 to 15% lower. Next was the PC Mark battery drain test. Here, the phone scored an impressive 10.5 hours. Most phones with less than 5000 mAh battery only score around 8 to 9 hours, so this result is quite impressive. Lastly, I did a full HD video streaming test. Here again the S23 FE did quite well. It managed to reach nearly 14 hours of video playback on a single charge, which is really good. I have to test the battery and performance further, and so I'll give my final verdict in my review video, which will come out soon. But so far, this chip has impressed me quite a bit. I was very disappointed with Exynos 990 in S20 FE and had made a video comparing it against the Snapdragon 865 version, and the difference was like night and day. But with the Exynos 2200 in the S23 FE and Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 in my S22 Ultra, there is hardly any difference between these two chips, be it in terms of gaming or real-world performance, thermals or battery life. Alright, that's all I wanted to cover in this video. Hope you found it useful. Please like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel down below. Thanks for watching.